Is it about justice or vengeance? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the sentencing of Derek Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd up there in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Now, Derek Chauvin got 22 and a half years in the penitentiary for 3 different counts. You have third-degree murder, second-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter. Now, the reactions to the sentencing have been all over the place. Some say that it didn't go far enough. Oh, he needs to get lynched in public, burned at the stake. They want the ultimate of the ultimate. I think Van Jones may have said something like that. So the 22 and a half years in the joint, that's not really enough. Okay. Now, some say that's way too much. He was sacrificed because Minneapolis does not want more riots, nor do they want more riots nationwide. So he was sacrificed. Give him above 20 years. That'll satisfy the mob. That'll pretty much appease them. He was kind of a sacrificial offering. That's what they say. That's what the other side says. And there's quite a few different opinions in between that. Now, before I get into those opinions and my particular opinion, I got to back up a little bit here to give you some context, just so we're on the same page with each other. Now, we all know what happened here as far as the knee on the neck, the 8 minutes, the 9 minutes, or whatever. We all saw that part. But we also know, according to not one, but 2 different autopsies, that George Floyd had a lot of drugs in the system. I think there were a few different drugs, but I know there was one, and that was fentanyl. I've heard that there was a lethal amount of fentanyl in the system. So that's a fact. All right. Some people say, Derek Chauvin is the reason why George Floyd died. Well, are we ignoring the drugs? I mean, is that not part of it? I think that really played into the whole situation. I couldn't get into George Floyd's background and whatnot, but I think in that moment, when he died, the drugs did play a factor. That's just my opinion based upon what I saw from the 2 different autopsies. It is what it is. And his behavior on the body cam, that's what it was. Now, speaking about the body cam footage, what was going on is very simple. Somebody called the police on George Floyd, trying to pass off a fake bill. They get there. They're trying to question him. They're trying to arrest him. He's resisting. They try to put him back in the squad car. Just let him sit there. He doesn't want to sit in the squad car. He wants to lay on the ground. He instructed to go to the ground. Can I get on the ground? And they obliged. Now, let's get back to the knee thing, and then we'll move on. This was a department-trained tactic. As a matter of fact, here's a slide from the training materials that Chauvin was given. This was a department-trained policy up there in Minneapolis. Now, it's since been removed, but it was on their website, easily available for all you guys to see. So if what he did warrants getting 22 and a half years, I'm having a hard time finding that out. I don't think... Well, from what I am able to see, I don't believe that Derek Chauvin tried to kill this man. You getting convicted on 3 different murder charges. I don't see how that makes any sense, especially when the movie did the whole knee on the neck thing, which is the centerpiece of this whole situation, which is why he's in the penitentiary. This was trained by the department. There could be an argument to say maybe it was on too long. Maybe he did not pay George Floyd enough attention while he was in distress. All right. Because people were looking at it. It was a long time. You kind of saw him fading. They said, okay, at that moment, you need to make sure that he's all right. Make sure everything's good. So maybe he was negligent in his care of George Floyd, but the knee on the neck or the back or whatever, that was department trained. So that knee thing, in my humble opinion, shouldn't really be conflated with a lack of care or a lack of proper treatment earlier. That's just in my humble opinion. Now, a lot of people feel like he was a sacrifice. And to a certain point, I have to agree, because 22 and a half years is too long for what happened. Let's go back to 2017. There was another officer in Minneapolis, Minnesota, by the name of Mohammed Noor, a Somali American. I'm not sure if he was born in Somalia. Oh, I think he was born in Somalia and then came to America, just like Ilhan Omar. But that's a different story, and I digress. So he's a Somali on the Minneapolis police force. He shoots and kills a woman for coming up to the squad car, and she's the one that called the police. Her name was Justine Diamond, a white woman. Now, he went to jail as well, but only got 12.5 years. So if you shoot and kill somebody that you shouldn't have shot and killed, you get 12 and a half years. But if you have the knee on the neck, which is trained by the department, and you're simply negligent in your care of somebody, you get 22 and a half years. You're both officers, both on Minneapolis Police Department. I think that's a miscarriage of justice, in my humble opinion. If you're going to give Muhammad Noor 12 and a half, maybe give Derek Chauvin the same thing. Although what Derek Chauvin did was not nearly as direct as a gunshot to kill somebody. You understand? And I think what happened with Muhammad Noor, he reached over his partner in the car and shot through the window. Like, it was really crazy, really just reckless. Now, I'm not saying that there was no particular reason why he may have, felt like this may have been an attack or whatever, but it was totally reckless, and he deserves some time in the joint. I think Derek Chauvin should get a little bit of time in the joint, but only for the negligence, not because of the knee, because that was department trained. Now, if you're trying to please the mob, you may please some of those that are on the ground, maybe, but you're not going to please the mob overall in the nation. You got guys like Van Jones going on TV crying, talking about he needs to get the ultimate of the ultimate. You have other so-called activists talking about he should have gotten more time. If he was black, he would have got the chair, all type of stuff. Then you're going to have the BLM people use this as validation, talking about, well, we got one corrupt cop in the penitentiary. We got a bunch of more corrupt cops to go. Although those that they target may not be corrupt at all, they still want to target them anyway. And that's not what you want. People may not understand that. They may think, okay, we're giving the olive branch to the other side, meaning the BLM type people. We're giving them an olive branch. Okay, we know this is wrong. This is not the right way to go. So here, take that. But what you're doing is giving them an inch. And like I've said many times before, whenever you give the left an inch, they'll take a mile. Matter of fact, they'll take every mile from here all the way to the sun. That's how they do. So I am not going to give him an inch. I'm not going to say that the 22 and a half years was justified. And there's still an appeal to go. And I think that the sentence will get knocked down during the appeal. Now, will he beat the case in the appeal? I don't know, because the case is so high profile. There's so much of this woven in the current culture. It's so much at stake. I don't think that he'll beat the case, but I think that he will get a reduced sentence, as he should. And I'm not sure about anybody else that was right there, but I think they were being brought up on charges or they had been sued. I'm not really sure what's going on, but they shouldn't get any time at all because two of them were rookies and the other person didn't even touch George Floyd at all. He was just standing, making sure that the crowd was not going to intervene or do anything crazy. Okay, so I'm not sure how you can lock them up for anything. The only person that you could lock up is who's locked up right now, and that's Derek Chauvin. As I close, I want to say this. The mob justice and mob rule is not going to work in the end. Some are going to celebrate this as a victory. The mob wins, mob rule or whatever. But once you have the mob being able to, quote unquote, gain victories, they're going to want more victories and more things to go their way. And the end result may be a society in which you don't really want to live. A society that has gone so woke without any kind of rules, without any kind of regulations, is going to be inhospitable. Nobody wants to live in a place like that. Not in the least bit. I say rest in peace to George Floyd. Prayers out to his family. They had his daughter. I think someone else from his family speak before the sentencing. It's rough on them because they didn't do anything. They're just innocent people who happen to have a loved one that did whatever they did, and the officer did whatever he did, and now the loved one is gone. It's really unfortunate. But I think George Floyd, if not for them drugs, this wouldn't even have happened. If not for the drugs, it wouldn't have happened. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the sentencing? 22 and a half years? Is it too much, too little? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. What do you think about this whole thing in general? Do you think it's beneficial to give the left an olive branch? I don't think so. I think you guys stand in your convictions regardless. Don't give him an inch. Don't try to negotiate or meet him halfway. That's not going to do anything other than give them ammunition to attack you with. All right. It's like giving them bullets to load in their gun. Don't give them any bullets to load in their gun. You stay true to whatever you believe in. And I think that the only thing that Derek Chauvin did was not show George Floyd more attention in this moment, but he did not kill this man with the knee on the neck, in my humble opinion. I think the drugs got to him, the situation got to him, not Derek Chauvin's actions. And even if Derek Chauvin's actions did cause the death, again, one more time, the knee was department trained. He didn't just do that because he wanted to be mean or cruel. He did it because he was trained to do so. Now, if you throw this man under the bus and say that the knee shouldn't have happened, his department trained policy shouldn't have happened, you're going to see a continuation of a mass exodus of police officers. What's the point in being an officer when I'm going to get thrown in the penitentiary for doing what I was trained to do? For doing my job, my life is ruined. My family's life is ruined. I have no more money. I lost my freedom. What's the point? I may as well just go do something else and forget about risking my life and my freedom to protect my community for next to no money. It doesn't make any sense. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.